Well, hello, you guys. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to a special edition of Get Real with Rick Dancer. We got a couple of shows this week. In addition to this, the other shows will be on tomorrow night, Wednesday at 5 Montana time, 4 o'clock Oregon time. And that's going to be with the organizers of the recall for Tina Kotek. They're having a big um, caravan and then a rally at the Capitol on the same day as the No Kings rally on the 18th. so, so while the left wing is bitching about no kings, we don't want kings, which is so stupid. The right wing is going to be trying to get rid of Oregon's governor, who just gave you the biggest tax in the history of the state, this transportation bullshit. So that's going on. And we'll talk to Bill tomorrow night about that. And then on Thursday, we have this one of the board members from Roseburg High School, where they had a transgender student um, wanting to go into the girls' locker room. He's a male, wants to be a female, wants to go in the girls' bathroom. It's been a huge issues all over the national media. And I got word from one of the parents. I think the family, the boy and the family, have backed off, and they're going to work with the district, which is good. I think that's really good. So they've backed off a little bit. And but I want to talk to the superintendent, because now there's a move. How do you change Oregon law so that men, boys who identify as women in high school can't just stir up the whole school and want everything for them? You can't just go. That puts it's so weird that we live in a world that it's okay to make 25 or 30 girls uncomfortable in a locker room, while one boy who wants to be a girl, it's okay for him to get with. So we bend over backwards for him, but we don't do anything to keep our young women safe. So they're looking at ways that they can try to change the law, and I hope that they're able to do that. But again, I'm really happy if the information I'm getting is correct, that this young man has decided, this trans boy, to be trans girl. I don't know what the right wording is. I don't really know. But anyway, that he's backed off. I think that's a good thing. Other thing in the news that I'm reading about it's kind of bugs me. I don't know how. I'd love to see your comments on this, but I heard that Trump got his physical, and he got the vax. He got the COVID vaccine, the booster, and I'm kind of I, I am 100%. Your medical, what you want to do is your business. You know what I mean? If you want to get the shot, if you want to do all that, even though that they're showing that it doesn't do any good. But when Trump does that, it was a little bit of a letdown to me, because here's something that the government's not saying you should do anymore. The CDC is not saying you should do that anymore. The evidence that I'm reading and everything I see is saying it's not needed, and there's some really serious things that can happen to your immune system if you get it. And then we have the president um, doing it and getting the vaccine. Yeah, Randy, I'm like you. I was disappointed. That's what it is. I mean, I think and again, but he's a political figure. And so those of you out there who, oh, Rick Dancer, you just love Donald Trump. I like what Trump has brought to the table. The main thing I like what Trump has brought to the table is you and I are talking about this stuff now. We're having these conversations because he's shown us that we can. And when the Bidens were in control and the Obamas were in control, if you disagreed with DEI, if you disagreed with political correctness, if you disagreed with anything, you were shut up. I have people on my page today because I was asking about the No King celebration. I think that is the dumbest bunch of shit on the planet. They think that Donald Trump is an authoritarian, tyrannical leader. Biden was. What did he do? He forced people. That's what tyranny is. He was authoritative. He made federal employees, teachers, law enforcement, firemen, get the shot. That is authoritarian. Trump never has done that. And so the Democrats and the left wing is protesting what they live off of and thrive off of. And they can't get over January 6th. It's like, oh my God, have you seen the reports? You're still repeating the same garbage. If you're mad about January 6th, you should go knock on the door of your dear Nancy Pelosi and go do some homework. Go look into this. But no kings. We don't have kings in America. And if we do, it was Joe Biden and Barack Obama. And you guys put everything on Trump. And I think it's so funny. Yeah, Melissa lost her job back then. Trump dropped the ball on his response yesterday about heaven on Air Force One was truly disappointing. You know, I tell you, I love the guy. He's a great president. I think he's done some great things. He knows how to do business. We've needed a businessman in the presidency for a long time. But, you know, he does some kind of stupid things, and but I can admit it. I'm not a Democrat where I stand by Joe Biden when his son is, you know, doing the shit he's did, and the laptop and the Russian collusion, and now you got who is she? Is she the mayor of New York or something? What is Lohita James? You know, she prosecutes Trump for the very thing she's now being prosecuted for. It's such hypocrisy. The scare tactics that the Democrats do is crazy. Brian, the only people it's scaring is them. You know, I don't care. I had a guy come on my page when I made a derogatory comment about the no kings thing. And every one of them had something nasty to say about me. You dumbass, or you're stupid, and all this stuff. And I thought, why does the left always have to make comments like that? And then I get people on the left and they go, you're angry. I'm not angry. I'm passionate. Anger is what you have because you guys are all waiting for these what I think is sick. I was listening to it. Trump is not perfect. Trump is doing the job America needs him to do. Exactly. But we can also, because we don't have kings and we don't have Biden and Obama, we can criticize him and it's okay. You know, it's because he thinks it's the best thing for the people and he's trying to set an example. Well, he needs to do more homework, Luke, because the booster's not the best thing for people, in my opinion. So in my opinion, he should not be out there touting that. But I don't know. And, you know, but Luke, we get to disagree. And if you, like I said, if you want to go get the vaccine, but do your homework, because there's some information coming out about that what it does to your immune system and everything. Did you guys hear about this doctor? He's on Megyn Kelly's show. I posted it the other day. He's been working on, and he has what could be the cure for cancer. I mean, he has a T-cell treatment, and it's very easy to do. It's just a shot, and it reverses things. But it's being held up. The FDA doesn't care because it needs to go to some testing. It has done some testing, and it is working. But it needs to go through more testing, and they're being real hard-nosed about it, and they don't care. And here's 10,000 people on a waiting list just begging for this because they're dying from cancer right now. And here's this treatment that is working and could possibly cure it, and they won't budge. Your government in its way. I mean, stuff like that. You start listening. You know, I mean, I am such a believer in conspiracy theories, because I think there's so much going on in this world right now. And, you know, you see these terrorists, these Antifa thugs in Portland and Chicago and places like that. They're just waiting for somebody to do something bad. They're egging people on, and I think they're going to set it up. They're just waiting for blood to be shed. And then they're going to start a civil war in this country. And it's all laid out in a book. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and I'm not going to say who, because all you'll do is judge. The naysayers will judge who it was. If the rest of you want to know, you can personal message me, and I'll let you know where it's on. It just came live today, but it'll blow your mind. But what it all goes back to for me and all of this is a spiritual battle. This has little to do with flesh and blood, except that's where we see it. But this is a spiritual battle, and this is demonic. And what's going on? I'm not calling Democrats demons. So all those people out there that want to come on and start, you said that, yeah, don't put words in my mouth. You know, Mary Beth, it screwed up a lot of people's. I've got silver more than any other person. They are, Randy, and that's because that's in the playbook. There's a book that was written by Panetta, and it's out there, and they're doing exactly what this book said. Exactly. It's play by play, how it works. And I don't, it's very disheartening. I'm not afraid because they have target lists, and I'm sure that I'm on the low end of the target list. The hate mail that I get, the hate emails, the rude comments. It's just like they truly have shackles over their eyes. Exactly. And they don't see it. And the ones that do, that's even sicker, that are in charge of that whole thing. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But I think people just need to, what I'm listening to and hearing is we need to focus on the good. There's a lot of good things happening in our country right now. And you know what the best thing that's happening in our country is you and I are free to talk about this. And they can scream at us, they can call us names, they can belittle us, they can do whatever they want. But their ignorance is no match for the truth. The truth sets us free. And you and I have the truth. And I think if you wanted to boil this down even lower than spiritual, I mean, it's a spiritual battle, but really this is an anti-Christian battle. And I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but this is just out. This is the demons hating Jesus, and anybody who believes in him, you're going to be on the hate list. And you can tell just by the vile way that they respond to stuff. I mean, I had somebody say to me, they're just on and on trying to convince me that I was wrong. And I said, well, I appreciate your arguments, but I don't buy it. And they were screaming like, you fucker, and, on and on and on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had a smile on my face, and I'm the one who's angry. I'm laughing. I'm angry. And they put all the things that they feel and they are. I'm ignorant. Their ignorance. They throw it on you. They project it onto you when it's really what they are and how they're feeling about themselves. And but that vile attitude is just what I don't get it. I don't care. I honestly don't care if anybody agrees with me. It doesn't matter. This is the truth. I know it is, and I throw it out there. So would it be because if you're trying to convince me, and it's so important you convince me, are you really convinced that you're right? Or because if you're not secure in your position, then it seems to me you would be trying to get other people to buy into your logic or the message that you have. And we're not buying. So stop. I don't do that to you. I don't care. I can walk away from a conversation and I don't care if you and I agree. But I'm not insecure about it. I'm sure about. I mean, I'm not saying I know everything, and I make mistakes, but I know what the truth is, and I know when I'm being lied to. And how many times did Joe Biden lie to us and get caught? And the Dems, the far left, just ignores it. There's still people that think Russian collusion was real. And they think that the laptop was a fake. There's still people out there that are buying that. Did you see where Joe Biden is trying to take credit now for the peace, the alleged peace deal in the Middle East? Yeah, that little slime. He's now on there And he's saying that they set up this whole thing. You did nothing, nothing, Joe. You weren't even there. You're not even there. And now you're taking credit for this great moment that people are seeing. We're not buying, Mr. Biden. We're not buying. But the problem is his people are. They're all go, oh, yeah, it can't be that Donald Trump. He's a horrible man. If you're wrong, you've lost nothing. If you're wrong, they've lost eternity. Well, I think our country is in some trouble. But you know what I think the good thing is people are standing up, and we do have a moment where things are going in. It's not perfect, just like I was saying about Trump. It's like, there's things he says and does that I just would, if I was his handler, I'd be going, stop. It's like, please don't say that anymore. But when they announced that, when they announced that he got the booster, I was just a little, I'm not mad at him. I'm just disappointed. I mean, just that, and yet he's a human being too, and he gets to make his own decisions, as do all of you. And, but I guess I have to admit that that it's kind of like, because there's so much information out there. So, and you know what, the other thing I find interesting is the far left people, the Tina Kotek minions that come online and tell me to stay in my own lane and that I need to just shut up about Oregon. I don't live there anymore. It's like, fuck you. You know what? I will never shut up about Oregon, and you can't shut me up. And just the idea that you're telling me to shut up means you're anti-democracy, because I have the right to talk about anything. That's democracy. So by you saying I should stay in my own lane or I shouldn't be talking about that, you're pro-king. You're pro-authoritarian. And you're pro-king, and you're going to go have a king rally, a no kings rally, when you're pro-authoritarian and tyrannical behavior. Look at all the people that still stand up for what happened with like Kate Brown and all those idiots when they, during the pandemic. Look how they still say, no, we saved hundreds. You are not. You didn't. You didn't. No. You should go look at what Fauci did. No, you don't get to hide behind that. You called on your neighbors. You go into the hotline and turned them in. You came up to me at the grocery stores and you said, put your mask on. You were tyrannical. You were tyrannical. You're an authoritarian. Oh, but it was for the health and life of people. No, you are a tyranny lover. And you're an authoritarian lover. And and look what you're doing right now to these ICE agents. And then, we see on TV and we see on the media, and I follow enough people, I see what's going on down there in Portland. And then you come on and your governor comes on and she says, it's a safe city. It's not, well, And I hear people because you live in the burgs or because you live in the governor's mansion, it's safe for you because you have state police guarding you all the time. It's not safe to be in those areas where this is happening. And Portland is a shithole. It's dirty and grimy, and you can't see it when you're out in the country, and you also, I think, because I just visited there, you get used to it. I think I don't. I see it all the time, but you go there and you get used to it. But it's like the king, the emperor has no clothes, and we're living that. I mean, we're seeing it. Yeah. Kate Brown to criminalize drugs in Oregon. They lied to voters, put out a ballot measure. I think that might've been even before her. I don't know. Garlic press, but it could be. But yeah, what do you think is going to happen to a state that legalizes drugs? I mean, come on. I mean, when I first moved to Montana, people would come up when they found out I was from Oregon, and they'd kind of whisper and go, so is it true that you guys legalize drugs? I went, well, I didn't vote for it, but yes, they did. And people, they can't believe it. They think, who does that? Fascinating as a pedophile, and anyone defending him is just as bad. Oh, Dennis, show me the proof. Where's the proof? Show me the proof. Yeah. You guys all talk about pedophiles and how he raped this and did all these things and that hired hookers to do that. You have no proof. It's just all bullshit. And you guys just keep regurgitating it. And people are, you just look ignorant. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm saying you look ignorant because you're repeating the same things over, especially when your own leaders have done far worse than the allegations. They're horrible things to our people. And you get hooked on this pedophile. How many people? Let's find out. What that's another thing I'm a little irritated with the Trump administration is I want to see the Epstein files. I really do, because I'm sure you're going to find some people that many of our left-wing brothers and sisters voted for, but it doesn't matter. Okay, here's a good one. What about the Attorney General candidate? Is it West Virginia? I think it's Virginia. It's one of the two Virginias. And he actually said and wrote a text that he wanted to kill his opponent and then his wife and their kids, and that they'd be childless and she'd watch her kids die or something horrible like that. I mean, that and here's the worst part. He's still a candidate for the Attorney General of that state. Oh my gosh, it's Virginia. Thank you, Jesse. Yeah, he's still the candidate. And the Democrats, when asked, I heard a lady, she's running for governor, I think, and she's a Democrat. And they were asking her, do you think he should not be qualified for that? And she wouldn't answer. They stick together when people are saying stuff like that. And then you're going to come on here and you're going to tell me, January 6th, no kings. Donald Trump's an authoritarian. Your guys are putting out like that's threatening. That should be putting that guy in jail. And he's going to be, he's still running, and Democrats in Virginia will probably still vote for him. God. Unbelievable. Seriously. This is the stuff. So have your No Kings rally, but remember that you're a hypocrite, because you are sitting there and you're saying, we don't want tyranny. What you're saying is, we don't want tyranny if it's Donald Trump doing it, which he's not. Look at tyrannical behavior. He hasn't stopped free speech. He hasn't stopped any of that. And you guys, and so you're supporting that while you're out there screaming no kings. And look what your governor, she's a queen, what she's doing in Oregon. She's dragging her feet right now. So there's the transportation bill tax. There's a move to get it repealed, but they have to gather signatures for that. They have 90 days from the day it gets out of the legislature. But the governor has 30 days to sign that legislation into law. And the gatherers of the signatures can't do that until she signs it. And she's dragging her feet and she hasn't signed it yet. So every day she's making it harder and harder for Oregonians to have a voice. Democracy. She was asked, the legislature the Republicans tried to get the whole legislature, let's put this before the people, because 94% of the people who wrote in and with testimony didn't want this to happen, were against it. Governor said no. And now she's telling people you shouldn't vote for this. Democracy, authoritarian. So don't tell me Donald Trump is an authoritarian and a dictator when you have one running your state and you're supporting them. And you've got a guy threatening people in West Virginia running for the Attorney General. I mean, come on. You don't get to have it both ways. Have some consistency. That's one thing I will say with the truth. It's consistent. And we have some consistency. We know what's going on. And you may be fine with the wool being pulled over your eyes, but don't try to pull it over ours, because we're smarter than that. We're more educated than that. We do our homework. We don't just listen to MSNBC or MSNBC or Saturday Night Live or wherever it is that you get your news. We don't do that. So on the 18th, you guys, has nothing to do with the No Kings BS. The guy in charge, Bill, who's petitioning to recall your governor. is having a big rally on the 18th in Salem, and I'll have him on the show tomorrow night to talk more about what's going on and how the Secretary of State's office in Eugene, or excuse me, in Salem, is discounting numbers and messing up. And he's hired an attorney, and they're going after him. And we'll tell you about that, what's in that too. So that should be really interesting. And then on Thursday, we're going to talk to one of the school board members from Roseburg High School, where they've had this issue with the trans kid who wants to go into the girls' bathroom when he's a biological boy, and the girls don't want him there. As I said earlier in the broadcast, it appears what I'm hearing is that he's backed off. He and his family backed off with thank you. That's amazing. I think that's a wonderful thing that they've done. The parents still want to change it because hang on. The parents still want to change it because the law. So they're going to continue to look into what do they do to change it so that you can't have one student holding the whole student body hostage because of something they want to do. Everything Tina Kotek is doing, this is Garlic Press, is towards the destruction of Oregon by her remaining a sanctuary state. Well, that's part of this plan in this book. When you watch this podcast and listen to it, that you will see is there's a whole left coast, all the West Coast joins together in a coalition, and that's exactly what they're doing. There's much more to this than meets the eye, and I encourage you guys to. I'll tell you this much, and I'll still get me in trouble, but I don't really give a shit. Tucker Carlson's newest episode, go listen to it. He's interviewing a very controversial man, but they're talking about this, and then you decide for yourself. It's up to you. But God gives us discernment too, and he also blinds people. What is it? Oh, I want to read this. No kings was cry of wealthy Roman senators trying to rally people to stop Caesar from entering the city and disposing of them. Grown adults discussing that a boy be allowed in a girl's restroom have lost their way. Let's go, Oregon. Here's the thing. Oregon is, thank you. Do you understand the West Coast takeover agenda? Oh, I do, Tam. Yeah. And you should listen to that new Tucker with this character named Jones. That's my hint I'll give you. Tucker Carlson's doing some amazing work. And I know he has, people hate him. And I think people that are hated are amazing. I love hated people. I'm one of them. I saw an article on Reddit. I Googled myself, and oh my gosh, Reddit's a left-wing bullshit, site where they go in there and whine with each other. And there's several articles in there, and and everything they say, what's so weird is, like I was saying earlier, everything they talk about me, they call me names. So it's like, I want to just go, and I have said this to them. Did you ever graduate from middle school? I mean, you act like children. It's like Rick Dancer's a fuckhead, and there's nothing ever anything intellectually stimulating about these conversations. And then they say, yeah, you need to debate me. Well, that's like debating a feather. You have air in your head. I'm supposed to come on and go, you BM potty tinkle. That's what my sisters and I used to do when we were little. Before we knew how to cuss, when you were yelling at each other, you'd call them a BM potty tinkle. And then we got our mouth washed out with soap for that. I would love to wash the mouths of many of these left-wing people out, for lying and for all the bullshit that they throw out there. And let go of stuff. I mean, January 6th, tit for tat. Look what BLM did. The BLM riots over George Floyd. How much property did they destroy? Federal, state, private. Nothing was done. How much? How many people died? Way more people died in BLM activities than died on January 6th from that. Way more. And yet they get a pass. And we were all supposed to be in lockdown during the George Floyd riots. And somehow the virus, I guess COVID, doesn't attack left-wing values. That's called hypocrisy. Yeah, Ann Bailey, I did have lava soap in my mouth, and it made my teeth really white though. Yep, it's good versus evil, John. I 100% agree with you. So beware, watch what you say what you watch, be truthful. Don't call them names, don't play their games, and talk to your friends about the good stuff going on. Good things are happening to people. I think it's going to get bad at some point. And if you read the book, you know that despite what some people believe, that there's a rapture and everybody gets out of here with no unscathed, that's not how I read my Bible. I read there's going to be beheadings and all kinds of things going on. So I don't think it's going to be a pretty picture. But it's also, if this is God's plan, then this is what we get to participate in, And it should bring you great comfort to know. I mean, so what do? Well, you get closer to God. You don't look at the things of man. You get closer to God. You sit down and ask him, and you pray, and you ask him, what are you supposed to do? What do I say? How am I supposed to deal with this? What do you want me to do? Who do you want me to help? There's little things you can do. See, I think the little things are the big things. Like right now, Lebanon High School is up for $1 million award from T-Mobile. And the whole town is fighting. They're like 45,000 votes behind. And so here they are. And the whole town is just rallying behind this thing to get these, get the most votes. So you could go in and go look it up. It's on my page. There's, you can find it, how to get in there. In fact, hold on. I'll tell you. So it's, oh no, these are political ones. Shoot, I don't have it. But you can find it for Lebanon. Just look up Lebanon on their Facebook page. It's everywhere. But see, that's good fighting evil. See what I mean? See, those are little things. So you could just call in every day and give them a tip, good fighting evil. So you don't have to go hand-to-hand combat with the devil or one of his demonic little forces like Nancy Pelosi. You don't have to do that. You're called to do something else, but you can write, email every day and do that. The governor's being recalled. So there's a great way. Little things you can do. Start telling your friends. We got to get rid of our governor. You don't have to say bad things about her. I'll do that. You just go out and participate. Participation is a sword. And when you participate, the wrath of hell is angrier than anything. So you get out your sword, and all it is getting involved, talking about it, saying to your friends when they say, "Oh, I think Donald Trump's an idiot," and you go, "Well, actually, I don't. I think he's doing some great things. I don't agree with him on everything." That is good. That is fighting evil. See, these are little ways. Bill, my friend who's doing the recall, he could use your help. Yeah. Go out and sign up 10 people. That's that's how you do this stuff. And then when Tina finally gets off her dead ass and writes and signs the bill, then there's going to be 400 people have already signed up to go spread those sheets out to repeal that horrible tax they're putting on you Oregonians, and you can do it. But that's the battle. You don't have to be doing what I'm doing and go hand-to-hand combat with morons. I enjoy it. You fight evil, like Ann Bailey says, with kindness. And that doesn't mean you have to put up with their shit. That's not kindness. I'm saying it doesn't even involve them. It's helping your neighbor. It's feeding the lady next door. It's it doesn't. You can recycle all you want. It's not doing shit. Go help people. Go say hi to people when you look them in the eye and say something to them. That's a sword. That's the real battle. That's good fighting evil. So that's something we can do. Yeah, you guys are. You're the fourth highest tax state. And did you see today that they spend more money on some healthcare program that doesn't require you to be a citizen of Oregon to get it? They spend more money on that than they do on the state police in a year. It's on my page on my Rick Dancer page. Just go look at it. Yeah, that's horrible. So you're paying for people that aren't even supposed to be here to get health care, and you're paying exorbitant prices for your own health care. That's not right. No, that's not right. And yet you're used to it. When you get out of Oregon, I'm not encouraging anyone to leave. That's the thing I love about Montana. I don't have to do any of that. I can fight for you guys, but when Tina does something stupid, or your super majority left wing government passes another bill that just is going to tax most of you like an average of $400 or more dollars a year, when you're already having a hard time making it, it's like, no, that's how you fight for people. Give them a voice, listen to them. And when those people say there's nothing going on downtown, you just laugh. Just going, yeah, right. And support ICE and support your local cops, if they're doing their job. So anyway, so again, tomorrow night, tune in for Bill, and you'll find out a ton of really good shit about the Secretary of State's office and how they're trying to, do all this badass stuff. And Bill's got a badass attorney, and he's going to go after him. And then those pages, if you guys want to go, so if you want to be, if you want to find out more about being a volunteer with the no tax thing, that the transportation tax, it's notaxor.com, notaxor.com. And if you want to get involved with the recall of Tina, you can download those and find out more information on it. Oregon for FOR, thepeople.com. So it's Oregon, FOR, thepeople.com. And there you can download the sheets, go around your neighborhood, get everybody to sign it, make sure you do it the right way. There's directions in there, and then you send that in. And it has everything explained on how you do it. So you can do 10 people. And you know what? That is like such a wild, wielding a sword and your armor of God, and just let these people know. We need to let these people know there's a new sheriff in town, and it's us, the people. We're back, and we're not going to put up with your garbage. We're not your little experiment. We're not here for your plan of destruction. We're here to bring good back to Oregon, to help our farmers, not destroy them, to help put loggers back to work, get trees harvested, get our healthy forests, our unhealthy forests healthy again, put people back to work, and get them out of office, get you out of our state. You don't belong here anymore. You don't get to do this anymore. And if you don't have the intelligence to say more than Rick Dancer's an asshole, then you don't get your voice anymore. Oregon for the people. Yeah, that's the one for the recall. And then the one to find out about the tax thing is notaxor.com. All right, you guys, it's been good. I'm glad talking to you. I will see you tomorrow night with much more. Keep up your stuff. Don't let them tell you you're angry. You know what? You're not angry. You're passionate about Oregon. You love Oregon, and you will do anything for her because she is worth it. And they have stripped her and ripped her and raped her and pillaged her and she doesn't even look like what she used to look like. But underneath all their garbage and deceit and lying and manipulation and authoritative, tyrannical behaviors is a beautiful place that can be restored and brought back. And you're the people who are going to do it. They're not going to do it. They want to destroy her. You're going to give her her birth again. Ha ha! Put that one. The demons in hell are shaking in their boots. But you guys are going to do the right thing. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Share this on your page so other people can see it. Okay. And let's go. Let's go get them. I hope more people tell us to shut up, because that's just going to inspire us to open our mouths and scream even louder, out of kindness, but out of passion, because Oregon is worth saving. Good night.